and then we can wait a couple more. We can just get started, and whoever jumps on. Jackson. So real quick, I just want to say that our challenge groups are going awesome. Our new groups are like, my notifications are blowing up. So I'm just going to ask that you guys, since we're all running this together, I'm going to ask that we all kind of like, I have the daily posts set up. So I have the morning. Sorry. I have the morning and like an evening post a lot of times set up, Hootsuited, ready to go. So I'm just hoping and asking if you guys will post in there as if it's like your challenge group, and it is your challenge group. But I mean, maybe just let's add like some more value. Let's add some different things and really just, I think that'll spice it up. And I know in the clean eating group, we're kind of doing that too. We're all really taking part, and I think that's going to make it more successful, especially with just all of us running our own. It'll make it feel like our own. One thing I want to just say, and I want to see if Abby can touch on this here in just a minute, but the video I posted of Lindsay's live video the other day, I don't know if you guys watched it. It was like that 20-minute video where she said the F word. I don't know if you guys saw it, but anyways, I shared it. It was really good. And I loved what she said about, and I was talking to Jessica Servi about this, and that's why I wanted to bring this up really quick. We were talking about dips in the business. And that's one of the things Lindsay said in her video. She's like, there's dips in this business. And she said, but and she said it like takes about 2 to 3 years, sometimes 4 to 5 for some coaches to build like a full-time income. And Abby maybe can touch on that since she's been a coach several years. She can talk about that and kind of maybe the dips in her business along with what she's going to say. But you know, Lindsay was kind of talking to some of her coaches who were struggling. And I feel like no matter where you are in this business, you're going to struggle, whether you're a brand new coach trying to sell your first challenge pack, or you're been a coach for 5 years and you're reaching new goals and trying for new things. And I love what Jessica Servi just posted in our team page. If you guys saw that picture of entrepreneurs and how like you sell your first challenge pack, or you get somebody started and you're like, yay, I'm making money. And then maybe a month down the road, you're like, oh, it's going up. And then it goes up a little bit more. And then you're like, oh no. And then you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe this isn't for me. And then, you know, you stick in it and you stay with it. And I know you guys are long-term and you've been, you know, been coaches, and I know you're not going anywhere, but I just think it's good for everybody to hear that it's like I don't know. And that's what Jessica said. She's like, you got to stick with it even in the dips. And that's what kind of Lindsay was talking about too. So maybe kind of Abby can go on that just a little bit, because she's had a few dips maybe in her business, I'm assuming. So you can take it over, Abby. We're so excited to have you on our call. So I appreciate you doing this for us.
Yeah, no problem. I'm excited to be here. I love, it's like my favorite thing about coaching is training. It's my absolute favorite thing. So make sure you guys have pen and paper. So whether you're watching the recording or you guys who are watching live, just make sure you have pen and paper, because we always want to be teachable and we always want to be taking notes and then going back and not just taking notes. Because I've been to events, I don't know about you guys, but I've been to events and I've like taken all these notes, and then I realized like months later that I never even looked back at like my Platinum Edge notes or something. So just make sure you're always just, you know, not just taking notes, but going back. And so I want to share a little bit with you guys about my story. Some of you guys may know my story. I don't think anybody does on your team. But so I signed up as a coach under Shauna Penny, who is like Christina Solon's best friend, in 2010. In 2009, I had just like started Facebook, and I saw she posted something about P90X, doing a workout with P90X. And I was a fitness instructor. We both taught fitness classes at Lifetime, but I was 30 pounds heavier than I am now. Like, so you can teach a lot of fitness classes and still like be overweight. And so I talked to her about that, and I got started, and I lost my first 18 pounds. And she would always say to me, like when we'd see each other at Lifetime, so we weren't like close friends, we just knew each other. She would always say to me, you look awesome. You're having awesome results. You should be a coach. But she never really like expounded on it. Like I had no idea what she was talking about. So of course I'm always like, no, that's all right. And then she had her first baby, and she invited me to a baby shower / shake and share party. And I more went to see the baby, but I also knew my nutrition could use a little bit more fine tuning. So I went. She made me a shake. I thought it was really disgusting. I'm not going to lie. Like, I did not like Shakeology the first time I tried it. But I was like, okay, but I understood like all the benefits of it. So I'm like, I can work with this. Like, I can tweak it and I can make it good. I signed up as a discount coach and I just wanted to do the discount. I didn't want to do the business. Christina Sullins was there. She gave a business presentation, but I was like, this isn't for me. But like a week later, I was getting my hair done and I was talking to my hairdresser about the shake that I've been doing now and I loved it, maybe 2 weeks later. And she's like, I want that discount too. So I signed up my first coach. I signed up my husband. I went Emerald. And I started just sharing what I was doing with my circle of influence, like my family and a few close friends. And I signed a few coaches and was selling product. And Shauna thought I was going to go diamond right away. And I remember Christina doing this like team call in the summer of 2010. And it's like, Abby's going to be our next diamond coach and all of this and, putting all this pressure, freaked out. And I stayed in the business. I never quit, but I didn't work the business. And I'm going to kind of explain all of that. So today we're going to talk about like mindset, consistency, and team culture. But I did not go diamond until January of 2014. That's how long it took me. Signed up in end of April of 2010. They all thought I was going to go diamond that summer. It took me until January of 2014. And it really was mindset. And then from there, like I went 1-star right away because I had a coach who'd been with me from the beginning. And then in 2015, I went like 3, 4, 5 right away and hit elite. And, I'm a 7 lifetime diamond. So like, it really was, I'm going to share with you guys like kind of what switched in me and what changed in me that got me from like that girl who was so insecure and didn't have the right mindset to hit diamond back in 2010, which for goodness sakes, if I would have, like how far my business would be by now. But, and to who I, kind of grew our team and our business into. So I really want to start with you guys about mindset. Because I think a lot of us get into this business and we see all of these, like, you don't hear stories like mine. You hear the story of the girl who went like diamond in 33 days and 1-star diamond in 62 days. And like, she's an elite coach her first year. And we see all of these, but that's like the rare few. There are so few coaches that actually achieve that kind of success in a short period of time. And I think it's almost like Beachbody sharing that stuff is awesome and it's to motivate us and all of that. But I almost think it does a disservice to most of us because that's not what the average person can achieve. That's not what the majority is achieving. I went to an event. They used to have like years ago, these things, they called them game plan training. Now they've replaced it with the 4 vital behaviors. But I went to one and I remember this man speaking and he was saying how the average network marketer, it takes them 7 years to build a 6-figure income. 7 years. But we hear all of this like hype, I think like in Beachbody about, these coaches that are doing it in 2 years or 3 years. It took me 5 years to build a 6-figure income. So I think but knowing that that's your average, and I always share with my coaches, like, where are you going to be at in 3 years, 5 years, 7 years? So why not like just be a coach, be a product of the product, be around this positive environment, improve yourself with personal development and your health and your fitness and all of that. And even if it takes you 7 years, that's still a 6-figure income in 7 years. Like 7 years is going to go by whether you do this or not. So it really does start with our mindset. And I'm going to go back just super quick for a second. So back in 2010, I was insecure. I had like very low self-esteem. You wouldn't have thought it by looking at me, but I just had a lot of negative self-talk, I just didn't, I was shy. I was like the little wallflower. I would go to parties and honestly, people thought I was kind of bitchy, sorry to swear, but it wasn't that I was just so insecure and I didn't like talking to people. And because I was always worried about being judged and I didn't have the greatest people skills. Now this goes to show you that if you would have asked me to do something like this, like I couldn't have talked to anybody. But in time, that's the amazing thing about this business. It transforms us from the inside out. We learn skill sets that we can use in all areas of our life, not just to be a better coach, but to be a better person in general. So in the regards of mindset, this has to start with You have to remember that this is a people business. This is not a sales business. This is not a business about like manipulation and trying to, like a salesperson kind of does. They try to manipulate you, right? Just to get the sale, and then they forget about you. This is a people business. And we really need to make sure that we are constantly have that mindset and that focus that this is a people business. And we need to have such a firm belief in this business and in the product. And if we have that firm belief, then that transfers into the people that we're bringing onto our team, the challengers that we're bringing into our challenge groups, the people that we're actually attracting. So it first starts with us and who we are and like that belief that we have. So it's having a firm belief in the product, and it's being unapologetic about being a coach. You want to build a big team. You want to be like a superstar diamond or hit elite or hit premier or even just go diamond or star, whatever your big goal is. It starts with you being unapologetic about being a coach. And I find that like a lot of my coaches and me myself, like years ago, it's just kind of like, well, yeah, I kind of do this thing and, I do this. You don't know what to say. Practice with your coach. Practice as a team what you say, like your 30-second to 1-minute elevator speech. You guys work on that ever at all? Do you even know what I'm talking about? So basically the concept is that imagine the time it takes you in an elevator ride, which is usually 30 seconds to 2 minutes, right? And if you're in an elevator with someone, what would you share with them in 30 seconds to 2 minutes about what you do? What would you say? What would come out of your mouth? And I found that like when I was first doing this, I was sharing things like, oh yeah, because I used to work for my dad's roofing company. I'd be like, yeah, I'm a fitness instructor and I work for my dad's roofing company and I do this like online health thing. And then people be like, what's that? I'm like, I don't know. I just help people with, like P90X. Like I stumbled over my words. So get to the place to where you're confident in what you say, because you need to be confident and you need to be unapologetic about being a coach and what you have to offer as a Beachbody coach. You have to have such a firm belief in the product and that what you have has worked for you and is going to work for others. So how we get that is by removing negative self-talk. And I don't know about you guys, but you guys have we all have it in some way, shape, or form. I had it hugely years ago where it was like the negative, like things that you would hear in your head all the time. Like, I'm fat or I'm ugly or I'm stupid or no one's going to be interested in what I post on social media. So why should I even post on social media? Nobody's going to want to follow what I have to say. Like it's those words that are like, spinning around in all of our heads that we would never say to someone else. But we speak them over ourselves. So I learned with Chalene Johnson years ago about like positive affirmations. And whenever we find ourselves saying like, I'm fat, no, I'm a work in progress, and replacing those negative thoughts with positive affirmations. So I really encourage you guys to focus on like what you're speaking over yourself, because what you speak over yourself, so you may say to like Tabitha or to each other, like, I want to be a diamond coach and I want to grow this big team and I want to do all this. But in your head, like when you lay down to sleep at night or when you're driving in your car, if the thoughts are, I don't think I can do this. Like, I'm never going to grow a team. I don't have what it takes. I can't be a leader. Why would anybody want to join me? If those are the thoughts that are going on in your head, then that is what your life is going to be. So it's whatever's going on in your head is what's going to come out in your life. So it really is important to have daily affirmations. Personal development, you guys know this, but seriously, don't skip it. And I feel like so many coaches skip this. They just skip it. And I don't know why. I grew into the person I was from personal development. So when I started, I kind of fell off with the business side of it, but the thing that I never stopped doing was personal development. I never stopped reading books. I never stopped listening to the National Wake Up Call. I wasn't really growing much in my business in those first few years, but I was changing inside, and you don't see it. I think so often we want like that instant gratification. So we want to read a book and we want whatever we read to like just magically like manifest in our life. But it's like personal development consistently over time that changes our mindset. It's not one book or one podcast or even 1 month or 2 months. It's consistently over time, and your mindset then begins to shift. So don't skip it, and you should like all be in a book right now. You should all be listening to the National Wake Up Call. You should even know, like have written out, I have my coaches do this, what books are you going to read in 2017? Are we in 2017, right? Do you ever feel like when you're in a new year, you say it wrong? You should know what books you're reading for 2017. Like, how many books are you reading? Do you want to get through 6 books, 12 books, 18 books? Which ones are they? Which one is first? Which one is second? Like, what are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? I love the Shalene Show. I love Build Your Tribe. I love that Ray Higdon's, I can't think of what it is right now, but he spoke at Platinum Edge. Tabitha could probably look it up for you guys. Small Business Profits, I think it's called. That one's really, I mean, there's so many great podcasts. Even the Platinum Edge podcast is amazing. Like, are you filling your brain with that? There is time in your day for personal development, and a lot of it. And honestly, if you feel that you need to make big changes in your life, it needs to be more than just reading 10 pages a day. Like, read your 10 pages a day. And when I bought one of those like shower speakers, so like when I take my shower, I'm playing audio, like either an audiobook or a podcast. And so I'm listening to that when I'm in the shower, when I'm doing my hair, when I'm doing my makeup. It's about changing our mindset, because this whole entire business is a skill set. And any skill set can be learned. Some of us come into this business with like an unfair advantage because we've done something like this before, or we're very personable, or I didn't have any of the skill sets to be a leader, or to even like, grow a team or do any of that, or even like run a challenge group. I had none of those skill sets, but all of them can be learned through personal development. It's just, are we teachable or are we not teachable? So there is time in your day. And I say this to my team all the time, like, leaders aren't born, they're developed. And they're developed, you guys, leaders are developed through personal development. So it really is being aware of that. The last thing I want to talk about with mindset is your environment. What does your environment look like? Do you work, is your business, like when you sit down to work, and you can have an office like I do, or you can sit on your couch and, work off your laptop like I did for years, or maybe it's your kitchen table, but is it a clutter-free workspace? Can you sit down and actually focus? Are you really good about single tasking, or are you constantly multitasking? Are you constantly doing 3 different things at once when you're sitting down to work your business? Or are you just focusing on, messages, and then just focusing on, coming up with content for your challenge group, or just focusing on a training that you're doing? Or are you doing 3 different things at once? So really getting good about single tasking, working in a clutter-free environment. Environment also has to do with the people we hang around with. So if you're hanging around with negative people, and that's what I was hanging around with a lot of negative people years ago, that is what you become. You become the majority of who you're spending your time with. So I would encourage you to take a close look at, like, who are you spending the majority of your time with, and surround yourself with, like-minded people who are trying to grow in the same areas that you're trying to grow. That's why, like, now my best friends are on my team, or in Beachbody somewhere, because they all are like, want the same hat. They're big dreamers and big goal setters and all of that. I'm going to move on to consistency. How are you guys doing so far? Good. I'm a super fast talker. Have you noticed? Like, that's how I am. All right. So I always say this to my team, and I really encourage you to write down, even if you've heard it before, because it is so powerful. Live your life now like others won't, so you can one day live your life like others can't. Live your life now like others won't, so you can one day live your life like others can't. That's what this is all about with being consistent. I think so often in our society in general, it's about like how we're feeling, and we want like immediate gratification. It's almost like, do you guys ever open up a video on YouTube or on Facebook and you're like, oh, that's 2 minutes, I'm not watching that. Like, it's way too long. Like, we want everything to be like super fast, and we want everything in our life to be that way. But it's about living our life like the masses are not living. And I loved, those of you who went to Summit, Melanie Mitro, she shared on stage how she woke up every day, her alarm clock is across the room, and she's like, do what others won't, so that, she can live a life like others can. I think she said the same thing or something similar to that. And it really is, that's what it's about. It's about doing what all the other coaches that are struggling are not doing, the things that they should be doing. And if you're struggling, it's because you're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. We're going to go into that super quick. So, being a product of the product, I say it on every call I do, because it is so important. And it's not about just exercising. It's about doing a Beachbody program and doing a Beachbody program from start to finish and doing that Beachbody program from start to finish and sharing your journey on social media. And if we're not doing and drinking our Shakeology every day and sharing it on social media, then especially this is for new coaches. Because, it does take, I share with everyone that it takes a good year. Our goal is to position ourselves as the go-to health and fitness person so that when your best friend or your neighbor or your coworker or someone you friended on social media that you never met before but live in another state, right? Because we're all doing that. We're all adding to our network. Whenever that happens, we want them to view us as the go-to health and fitness person so that whenever they're like, I need to lose 5 pounds or I have a vacation or I'm getting married, they're not thinking I'm going to go join Export. They're going to think Tabitha. Tabitha's been like sharing this amazing journey. That girl's got results. I'm going to reach out to her. If we're not sharing our journey on social media, they're going to join Export or they're going to join some other coach or Isagenix or something else that they've been seeing in their newsfeed day in and day out. So we need to be sharing our one being a product of the product, and you can't fake it. I've had coaches who have tried faking it. It's like you can't fake it and say you're working out every day and trying to get people to do the product, but then you're posting how like you're eating at Five Guys and you're, doing this and you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't say it, but then you're living another life. And honestly, it all shows on our body anyways, let's be honest. Our body shows exactly what we're doing. So it's not about being some perfect little size or having this perfect body. It's about, are you constantly improving? Is your fitness, whether it's like you're able to do more push-ups, you're able to, whatever. I can't even think of anything right now. But you're just improving. It's not about size or whatever. It's about, are you healthier? Is your family getting healthier? Are they seeing like improvements in you and in your life? So sharing that on social media, and why it's so important is, especially for new coaches, is if you start sending out messages like, hey, I'm running this challenge group and I'd love for you to join me and all of that. And the last thing they saw you post on social media was like, your New Year's Eve party. And the thing before that was maybe back in November when you posted a Thanksgiving family picture. Then they're wondering, what is she talking about? Why would I join her challenge? She's not even working out for all that person knows. So, but if we start sharing even a little bit, our Facebook should be like the day in the life of a coach. You guys have heard people say that before. So we need to be doing that. Obviously inviting and not just mass messaging people, but connecting with people, forming people. I'm sure Tabitha is awesome at talking to you about all of that. You need to consistently run a free and paid challenge group every month. Are you guys doing that? Like no matter what, you have one free and one paid every month. I have like a dry erase board up on my wall, and I know for the next 4 months the dates of all of them. So I have my date for my free groups, and I do a clean eating, and then I'll do like a 3-day like booty challenge or plank challenge or no sugar challenge or something. And then I have my paid challenge group, but I know the day that I'm going to promote it and the day that it's running, so that when someone tells you no to one, you can invite them to another. So make sure that you're planning all of that out. Obviously following up and following through. By following up and following through, that's how you're going to find leaders for your team. Bottom line is, if someone falls off the wagon, I've had customers fall off, like they've got a challenge pack from me a while back and they do a little something and then they fall off. Well, I could just like let them fall off. But if you're, and sometimes it's someone's that like ignore you. Try to follow up with them once a month and they're ignoring you. And then one day it's due to your consistency and your follow through and you following up with them that not only are they ready to join, but they're ready to be a coach. So know that it's what they see you doing is what, like the experience that you're giving your customers in the beginning is the kind of coaches that you're going to get on your team. And so you always need to ask yourself, like, what is the experience that I'm giving my customers and my new coaches? Because that is, what your team is going to grow into, is whatever they're experiencing in the beginning. In terms of consistency, like I create a vision board every year. I just created my 3rd one. And I think it's really important. Do you guys do vision boards and write out your top 10 goals? So do your top 10 goals. Do you write out your goals every single week? All right. So something I got from Shalene Johnson a long time ago. So I encourage my team. So we write out our top 10 goals, and it's not just business goals. I tell them that you need to have at least one like fitness goal, like physical goal, one personal goal, one financial goal, and then you can have more business, or it could be family, things like that. But you need to have your top 10 goals that you want to achieve. One, in my opinion, it should be achieved in a year. It should be doable within a year. It needs to push you and stretch you, but it also needs to be like attainable. Like, I want to make $1 million in Beachbody by December 31st, 2017 is not doable, where I'm sure all of us are at in our business, right? So it needs to be doable, but it also needs to stretch you. Like saying I want to be a 5-star elite coach, or I want to be a 2-star premier coach by the end of the year. That's a doable goal because people have done it before. No one has hit million club in like a year or 2 years. So write out those 10 goals, create a vision board around them, have your vision board up. So whether it's your screensaver on your computer or in your office or whatever, but then I have a journal. So every morning I get up, I do, I read my Bible, I do my devotions, I do all of that. And then I have a little journal, and every Monday morning I rewrite my top 10 goals, but I don't look back at what I did. So like I take a fresh page and I just like write out 1 to 10, and you'll see that your goals change and they evolve. One is you accomplish things, but two, you'll sometimes see that like something that was like a huge goal for you maybe in January, by May, even if you haven't achieved it, maybe it's not important to you anymore. So I have found that it's really important to like write our goals out once a week, and then on non-Mondays, on every other day of the week, I open it up and I just read through what I from that Monday, and I just read through them. And it's about keeping our goals in front of us, because, and I think not just writing them down once a year, writing them down once a week and looking over our goals every day makes a big difference. And it kind of solidifies in our mind, like what we're striving for and what we're moving towards. So I really encourage you to do that. And then I write out my business goals. So you guys can't see my office, but right here's a wall, and it's like a dry erase board that's like the size of my computer, and it's like cork around it. And so I have push pinned on here my top 10 goals that I write out in January, and it stays up all year round. And I have like the years behind it. And then every month, the first day of the month, or sometimes the last day of the month, I write, so it says January goals. I always write my success club goal, how many coaches I want to onboard, and anywhere from 1 to 3 things I want to focus on in my business. So do you want to start a like page? Do you want to focus on Facebook ads? Do you want to start a website? Do you want to commit to doing a certain amount of power hours a week? We're going to talk about that in a minute. Like, what do you want to do in your business that's going to be your main focus for 30 days. So I really encourage you guys, if you guys aren't doing that, to do that. The last thing with consistency is power hour. Do you guys follow the power hour format? Do you know of the power hour format?
Like, what do you mean, Abby? With
Danielle Natoni, like, put it out there maybe. I don't know. My team's been doing it for almost a year. And basically, I do live power hours with my team, and we do it in an event page. And so I'll give them a task, and I'll say, you have 5 minutes to complete this. And then I set my timer, and when it goes off, and they comment below. So like the first one is, add 5 people to your network. The next one is send out 5 hey girl or hey guy messages, and I give them an example, and there's a time limit. And then the next one is like following up. The next one's inviting to coaching. And so there's even one on there that, they have 10 minutes to craft a social media post that has no stock photos, but that has to do with something with Beachbody, fitness, their business, whatever, Shakeology. And there's a time limit, and basically I tell them when the timer goes off, you're moving on to the next task. Because I think what a lot of people do is they sit down to do a power hour, and you get stuck on one thing. All of a sudden you have like all these messages to respond to. So that's all you do for your whole hour, and you didn't expand your network. You didn't send out any new messages. You didn't do any new connects. So we do, so I do live ones twice a month, one in like the afternoon hour, and then noon hour, and then one like 8 o'clock at night, just for people's different schedules. And then I give them that format, and I say, take this and use this at least 3 times a week doing your own power hour. So I can give that to you if you weren't familiar.
Yeah, please. Well, we've done live power hours where I kind of go through my power hour in their watching, and we practice and talk about that, and they sometimes work through it, but we haven't done quite like the event. We haven't done that.
So it's an event, and then I have a Zoom, and then I tell everyone to mute their line, but if they have a question, they can unmute, and then I'll answer for them. So that's how we do that. So we're live, but we're posting in the event, and so it'll be like, friend request 5 people, write their name, comment below with their names. So it's like you're making them actually do the work. And then it's a great system for them to follow through. Like one of them's even like, check your coach online office and, find one new thing that you didn't know under breaking news. Because I think a lot of us aren't even checking our coach online office on a regular basis. So it's just teaching them like the habits that they need to be a successful coach. So I really encourage a power hour, a minimum of like twice a week if you want to build a small business. If you're just looking to make a small amount, a small income, if you want to build, like, you want to fire your boss, you want to build a 6-figure income, like 5-6 power hours a week is what you should be focusing on. And honestly, your business is a direct reflection of what you're putting into it. So if what's coming out of your mouth, I want to make a 6-figure income, but you're only doing like an hour a week, and it's not even like a focused power hour. And that's why I really encourage like a focused power hour, because sometimes we sit down to work our business and we're not doing the nitty gritty. We're not doing the stuff that needs to be done. It's like we get sidetracked with a message, and then we're making a pretty graphic for a challenge group, and then we're clicking like on in our challenge group post. That's not going to move your business forward. That's after your power hour. That's all that like fun stuff. The fun stuff is the stuff we want to do when we sit down to work our business. But it's like the nitty gritty, like expanding our network and sending out messages and following up and inviting to coaching and all of those things. That's what moves our business forward. And I think so often we think we're doing a power hour, but we're really not. So, I'll send that over to you, and then you can do that. And then tracking your business. So I love Teamzy. I think you use Teamzy too, right?
Yep, that's what
if
we're
you guys aren't using Teamzy, make sure you're using something. And for the coaches who tell me I can't afford the $25 a month or whatever, I'm like, but can you commit to selling one more challenge pack a month? If you can commit to selling one more challenge pack a month, that more than covers your Teamzy. And doing Teamzy is going to naturally explode your business because you're actually doing things that you're not doing on a regular basis. All right, team culture. So this is kind of where I'm going to share with you guys some of the things that I've used to like develop a team culture and to create leaders on my team. But one is to attend all live events. If you're not there, your coaches aren't going to go. And if your coach is going, you're not there, then guess what? They're not going to come to the next one. So you need to make it a non-negotiable that even if you don't have any downline coaches going to, like, say, Super Saturday, that you're still there and they're seeing that you're consistent with it. Get on every single training that your team has, and Zoom and National Wake Up Call and all of that. You need to like show up first. You need to lead from the front. And your coaches are only going to do what you yourself do. And same thing, you can't fake it. They know. And if you can't like make it onto like your team trainings or the National Wake Up Call, I always encourage people, like, put a reminder in your phone with another. So say you guys have an 8 o'clock call, right? Don't you usually have 8 o'clock calls on Mondays? So say you can't get on the 8 o'clock call. Well, then you need to put into your phone that on Thursdays at 6 p.m., you're going to listen to the recording. Because oftentimes if we're not like scheduling it in, all of a sudden, you're 4 weeks behind on recordings and you're just like, forget it. I'm just going to start now or something. But it really is important to schedule all of the recordings in. This business is about relationships. Bottom line, don't push your goals onto your coaches. If you really want to go diamond or you really want to go emerald or whatever it may be, it's not about like pushing your goal of going diamond onto another coach to get them to go emerald. Because the thing is if you push your goal onto somebody else, they're going to just lose it and then you're just going to be upset. It needs to be friends first. And you guys have heard Christina Solon say that all the time, but it needs to be friends first, business second. And so much so that you don't just say it, but that whether your coach tells you that they're going to build a business and they build it really slow, or they don't build it at all, or they say like, you think you bring on someone and like the way they're talking is like, you think, I found it, I'm going to go 1 star with this coach. And then they don't even hit emerald, right? It's about being a friend so much so that you're okay with it. Like, guys, I'm so serious about it. Like, that I think is one of the biggest things that helped me develop leaders is I didn't push my expectations on them. And when they would lose rank or when they would hit a goal and they didn't make it or whatever, it's like they never felt from me. Now, I may have said to my husband, like, why? Or whatever, but they never felt that from me because I truly was their friend and I wanted what was best for them. So it really is about not pushing your goals onto them and being truly okay with how fast or slow they grow a business. And I think that's probably why it took me a while to go from like diamond to 5-star, because those coaches were with me the previous year and they all told me the previous year they were going diamond. And it just took them a long time. And it was just, it's so many of them. Like, so one of my coaches who went diamond just this past May, she was a coach for 2.5 years. And the summer before, she decided she didn't quit, but she's like, I'm going to take a step back. She didn't go to Summit. And inside, I'm just like, what the hell is wrong? Like, why are you not going to Summit? But no, to her, it's just like, you know what? You have to do what's best for your family. You know how I feel. Like, I encourage you to go to all live events. It's going to naturally drive your business forward. But if you don't feel that it's the right fit for you, or if you want to take a step back, that's okay. I'm here for you whenever you want to join, like jump back in. Or if you never want to, I'm still here for you. And we stayed friends through it all. By the end of the year, she's like, that's it. I'm all in. And she hit diamond then 5 months later. So if I just kind of like wipe my hands of her and been like, well, she's deciding to take a step back from the business, so I'm not going to check in with her and I'm not going to spend any time with her and I'm not going to invest any more time into her, then what do you think she would have, you know what I'm saying? She would have just, it's about creating that connection within your team to where they feel safe coming back even when they walk away or even when they fail or even when they lose a rank or they, whatever it may be, that they feel so closely connected to you and to your team environment that they're coming back no matter what. Sorry, my call's going really long, but I promise I'm almost done. It is creating a close family-like team and truly being friends with them. Spend time together, like lots of time together, and not just business time together. I hope you guys do get together for like, if you live in the area with each other, for like coffee or just for lunch. And yes, I think business always gets talked about. Like, it's just the way it is in this business. Like, it always ends up getting talked about, but not making the main focus always be about business. And just do you know your coach's spouse's names? And it gets harder the bigger your team is. So I encourage to keep like a binder with each, their kids' names and like all the information, because that's what a friend is, right? They know what's going on in your life. But spend time together and speak greatness over your coaches. Speak greatness over, when we all come into this business, we don't think we can do it, especially new coaches. And then even like a veteran coach, when you start to struggle, or I've had a diamond lose rank, and it's about continuing to speak greatness over them so that they understand that, sorry, the banging, my son's in the basement practicing baseball. It's about speaking greatness over them so that when they don't believe in themselves, you're there like in their corner rooting them on, and you're the one who is going to keep them committed and keep them in this. So if they have that family like community and you're constantly speaking greatness over them, and I'm trying to think of the book right now, Legacy something. It's a really short read and it's story based. I'll text you I'll go find it and text it to you. But that's where, it's a great story, but that's where I read that a while back. And it's about speaking greatness, not only just over your coaches, but over your kids, over your spouse, over everybody, because they become like how we talked about before, the thoughts in your head, you're speaking greatness over them to get rid of those thoughts that are going on in their head that like, oh, I didn't sell a challenge, I didn't hit Success Club this month, or I lost my emerald rank, or I thought these coaches were going to sign up and they didn't, so maybe I shouldn't do this business anymore. But if you as their coach are constantly speaking greatness over them and saying things like, I see so much great potential in you. I know that you can do this. I know you're going through like a rough patch right now. Or I know that it's really discouraging that you worked so hard this month and you didn't hit Success Club. But think about all the seeds that you're planting. Think about all the lives that you're inspiring. And those people, they're going to come back to you, whether it's next month or 3 months from now. So just, you know, so do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's how I speak over my coaches. It's about speaking greatness over them until they believe the greatness themselves. And it's so funny because I did a team call last night and I didn't end up saying some of the stuff I wanted to say. And I texted one of my coaches, one of my diamonds, because we're really good friends. I'm like, okay, did I like totally bomb that? And she's like, well, my good friend and coach would tell me, and she like repeated back to me what she's heard me like say to her over and over again when she like had, you know, like doubt in herself, you know, as I'm having doubt, she's like repeating it back to me. So it's about just speaking that and just getting rid of all of the doubt that constantly goes through their heads. So, some of the things that I do, and you guys may do this, I have a team page and then I have a personally sponsored page. So I put everybody, including discount coaches, into my team page. And then my personally sponsored page is just my personally sponsored coaches where I just speak to them. They post power hours in there and I'll go live in there and just talk to them. And like Tabitha, that's like how I kind of speak to go, like when I'm pushing for like a lead or something like that, like just talk to them. We do weekly team calls, which I know you do. I do a monthly team dinner and a training. So this is a great way of getting everyone who lives in the area. They come to my house 7 p.m. once a month. I cook them dinner. I like to cook. If you don't like to cook, make them all bring something. But I cook them dinner, and then at 8 o'clock, I do a training. And I set up my computer on my dining room table, and everyone kind of just brings in chairs, and we sit around. If you guys follow me, you've seen me post about it in the past. And then I Zoom in everyone who lives out of the area. And I do a training. So it really helped those of us who live in the area to really connect on a deeper level, and they love it. They love coming out to those things. So that was an awesome thing. And then I would do quarterly at a restaurant team dinners. No training, just social. We meet at a restaurant, and that in both things I invite my whole downline to. It's not just my personally sponsored coaches. It's like I post on my team page. If you can read this, you're invited. Like, come on out. So, and we do quarterly team dinners where it's just, we just meet at a restaurant and we hang out. So it's anywhere from I'll have anywhere from sometimes 6 will show up to like 20 plus. So, and then even more will hop on Zooms for trainings. And then I do a holiday dinner. I think you just did your first holiday dinner this year. So it's similar. I know we've talked about that before. I do a weekly changing lives board. So I do it's kind of like a leaderboard in my team page every Thursday. I don't know if that's something you do, but I put how many Success Club points everyone in the whole downline, not just my personally sponsored, has. And then I do monthly leadership ladder, like who made it on the leadership ladder. And I think new coaches like that so much because they're like, yeah, I made it on, or it's their first time. So I'm going to close with this. Did you notice anything by what I was talking? There's no secret sauce. I think we get on call sometimes and we think that we're going to have this magical something but it isn't. It really is just the basics. It's just work, do the work, follow, the vital behaviors and now the new vital process and all of that, and get rid of a lottery mentality of wanting it to happen overnight. I don't know how long each of you guys have been in the business, but it takes a good year of you being consistent, not a year of you being in and out. Because every time you leave and come back, you're starting back from day one, and actually you're starting negative almost because you've lost trust of those who were following you before. So it takes a year of you being consistent on social media, consistently helping people, consistent on your own health and fitness journey before people view you as the go-to health and fitness person. And then from there, I think that's when businesses start to thrive and to flourish, is when there is true consistency for a year. So get rid of that quick mentality. And like we talked about in the beginning, it does take the average network marketer 7 years to build a 6-figure income. So be consistent, and be patient. And honestly, this is how I went from just being mediocre to building a rock star team. I didn't do anything special. I just was I changed my mindset. I was super consistent about everything I did, and I created a family team culture. So I love ending calls with call to actions. I didn't even tell you I was doing this, but I'm going to do it. So I would love for you guys, message Tabitha. So this is, why you're your coach, what personal development book you're reading and what your next 3 personal development books are. Like, show her that you're serious, that you are committed to your personal development. And if you're listening to any podcasts, also tell her how many power hours you're committing to with days and times. Like, it should be like, okay, this is my favorite planner, the Erin Condren. Do you guys know?
Yes, I just got one for Christmas from my sister. Just got one with my name on it. So
Such
cool.
an awesome. In your planner, you should have written out days and times of all of your power hours. So I would encourage you to write all of that out and then message her. What days, times, and so total it up. How many power hours are you doing in the month of January? And then this is something you should sit down and do every single month. And if you're like, so my husband, his days off are always different. So I actually do it week by week. But at the very least, you should be doing it every Sunday night, planning out your whole week. But I encourage you to put your power hours out for the month. And then the third thing is, what is one thing that you're going to do to create more team culture within your team? So personal development books, power hours, and what are you going to do to create team culture within your team? And that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys got something out of it, because I always feel like we all hear the same. Oh, that was one last thing I wanted to say. So when I first became a coach, I would go to all of these trainings and stuff. And my mindset was so crappy that I would sit there and be like, they're talking about the same thing. I heard this on a wake-up call. I heard this on when is somebody going to tell me what the secret is? Why these, I just had this negative mindset. And I actually went to Summit in 2011. And look, it still took me till 2014 to hit Diamond. But I went to Summit in 2011, and I went with Kristen Bullerman. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but she's one of Shauna's coaches. She's awesome. But we went together, and we joke around about it today. Now she's a Star Diamond coach too, but we joke around about it today. We're like, man, we went there. We were so negative. We were so negative. We're like, when are they going to tell us the secret? Come on, what is it? How are these coaches we were just, this business isn't going to work. And we were just very negative, and we were living out what was coming out of our mouth and what was in our brain. So it's about knowing that it's just about doing these things and being consistent. And this business, every new coach who comes onto my team, I say this business is super simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur because you don't have someone telling you when to work or what to do every single day. So it's super simple to do it. It's just putting the time in and the effort in is not always easy. Now I'm done.
No, that was awesome. Robin messaged and said consistency, change mindset, and what was the other thing?
Team culture. Create a team culture.
Okay. No, that was so good. And I don't know if you heard, I was talking to Jamie Simpson because I guess Christina held a call the other day with maybe just her personally sponsored diamonds. And have you heard about everybody, a lot of these Beachbody coaches are switching to sell this wine? Have you seen anybody? Okay.
No, I don't know of anybody personally, but
okay.
I saw I see a lot of talk about it.
Okay. Well, anyways, that's beside the point. But basically, to give you guys the story, they left Beachbody when they had been coaches for quite a while because they were just frustrated. Yeah, making 6 figures. Left the company because they were going to be a founding member or starter or whatever you want to call it in this business. This wine is called direct sellers, and sellers is wine seller, CE, whatever. And so they left Beachbody to do this, and then they were making $8,000 in 2 months. And this one girl was just, whatever, that's fine. But I'm at the end of the day, for me, I just, and it's nice, but it's like you said, it's instant gratitude. And they want, everybody wants just hey, and I do too. I just want to be able to quit my job and make 6 figures and build a new house. I mean, that's great, but that's not going to happen overnight. But I just think that that's not going to be inspiring either. If I sell wine, aren't I just going to sell wine, and have fun and drink wine and sell it and invite my friends to drink wine? I mean, I don't know if there's much more to it, But
no, that's really all they wanted to be founding members of this new network marketing.
Just to be like make more.
And so all founding members end up making good money because you're a founder. Yeah. But I was talking to some of my diamonds about it, and I was telling them, I'm like, but like, where's this is changing lives. Like, that's where I get, like, so I was a fitness instructor for 12 years, and I did it because I loved helping people. And now I've actually quit teaching because now I just want all my focus, and I don't want anyone telling me when I have to be somewhere to teach a class. Why we all want to quit our jobs, right?
Yeah.
So I no longer teach, but I get so much, I get the same satisfaction, even more so out of this than I did. And so don't we want to, like, I just want to leave this earth a better place. And how do you leave this earth a better place? You know what I mean? Like selling wine.
Right. And your physical your physical and mental state and everything, I think, is going to go.
I just talked about trying to give up wine because I know it's making my booty fat. Since the holidays. So like,
that's funny. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Did you guys have any questions really quick for Abby at all? No? Okay. You can message her too if you have any, I'm sure. Can we do a quick picture really fast? Do you care?
Sure.
One more time. Hold on. All right. Okay. Well, I appreciate it so much. It was so fun. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, you guys let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you guys have a good week. It's going to be cold.
Bye.
Okay. See ya.